Spirituality is a very simple concept, just to be with yourself, to understand yourself, and to make more better and better yourself. Medical practice has lots of limitations. Means you cannot go beyond chemical or you cannot go beyond surgery. And people wanted the miracles and results which were beyond science. We understood that for every disease there is a specific medicine. Same way in spirituality, we need some certain guru who can guide us, who can make us understand where are we stuck. What happens, after becoming a doctor, you have that ego side of the medical person. You cannot accept any other modality. It's a science of polarity. There's always duality in the universe.
Right.
If you do positive, you attract the negative. If you do negative, actually you should attract the positive, but you are attracting more negative people.
Hi everyone, I'm Ashwathy Warrior, an actor from Chennai. And today joining me is Dr. Uday Shah, a doctor by profession and a spiritual scientist. He's the founder of Sai Karna Mission, and today we're going to be discussing spirituality. So, good morning to
Good
Dr.
morning.
Uday Shah.
Thank you.
I'm very happy to be here. For the first time, we are getting to have a conversation in a very candid way and also discuss our journey, in your journey, my journey, and a little bit about spirituality.
Right.
I think a lot of people are very curious these days about what is spirituality. They have misconceptions, some ideas. Some people are curious but scared about it. So I think today is a great day to talk about this.
Yes.
And see, if we can break certain myths or misconceptions, have very open conversations.
Right.
And very truthful and honest conversations so people can see what is spirituality and maybe explore or maybe give them an opening to actually explore what it is.
Right.
So I would like to start with the first question which everybody is thinking about, which is, what is spirituality? How do you want to define it, or how do you see it?
Spirituality is a very simple concept, just to be with yourself, to understand yourself, and to make more better and better yourself. That's the spirituality.
Because I think a lot of people think spirituality means, going off to the Himalayas. They feel like, they have to leave everything in their life and go. They think it's only one sadhu or saint that practice spirituality.
Right.
So I think in my experience, I'm starting to see it like a tool, like a practice, like
Right.
yoga
Yes.
or music or dance, like a form of practice.
Right.
Which is starting to help me feel very balanced internally, help me handle everything around in my life better.
Right.
On that note, can you tell me, how did you come across spirituality, or how did this whole feeling or this journey start?
So honestly speaking, I was more keen in medical practice. That's why from 1990 to 1995, I completed my medical graduation. After that, I started practicing in Ramakrishna Mission Hospital. And parallelly, I was working as a gynecologist in Mumbai Wadia Hospital.
Okay.
Very fortunately, I was with big shot doctors from Leelavati Hospital, Nanavati and Asha Parekh in Mumbai. And very soon I came into conclusion that medical practice has lots of limitations. Means you cannot go beyond chemical or you cannot go beyond surgery in medicine. And people wanted the miracles and results which were beyond science. And that was the time when I started thinking about how to go beyond science. And when I was working in hospital, opposite to my hospital, there was a Ramakrishna Mutt. It was a Swami Vivekanand Shardama and Ramakrishna hut where they used to meditate over there. Many people used to meditate.
So, mutt matlab like an ashram?
It's an ashram, yeah. So many Swamis used to stay there, and they used to very regularly operate our hospitals, and they used to visit our hospitals for hygienic and management purpose. But at the same time, they used to meditate daily, and I used to just watch them. Because as a doctor, I was not believing that something is going to help you. I thought they are just spending their time by doing the meditation because they don't have other work to do.
Right.
But when I used to get a small breaks between the my hospital work, I started doing the meditation, and somewhat I thought that this is a happy time where you can be with yourself, and that's the journey started. That I started being with myself, and I understood myself much more. But anyhow, I was not into that set of the mind that I will be totally in future shifting into this spiritual practice.
Right.
But parallelly, I understood that why there is a limitation of medical science, why even in ICU, in emergency, in casualty, we are not able to save the patients in spite of all many gadgets and investigations and so many westernized tools and pharmaceuticals updated research. We were not able to save patients, and that was killing my mind, that I should have done something more rather than just making them to die. But then slowly I understood that I should work on the other side, and then I started learning acupressure, yoga, nature cure, meditation, and then I started learning Reiki. That was Dr. Mikao Usui from the Japanese technique. And then parallelly I was practicing both the thing.
Right.
For couple of months, or I will say for 1 or 2 years, I was practicing parallelly. And that was the time when I came into conclusion that let me now stop medical practice, because in other alternative therapy, or what we call a complementary therapy, they are more worth, because people are free from medicines, people are free from surgeries. It's not that I will suggest that to avoid medicine or to avoid surgery, but in many cases you can actually take the help of this alternative therapy, and you can cure the patient. Because in our medical science we used to recover the patient, and in nature cure or in spiritual science we are curing the patient. So this is the two theory which I understood.
Right.
Whether you want to bring back to the units, that is called recovery. Whether you want a patient to be permanently free from medicines or disease, or from death, the fear of the death, then definitely the spirituality works very well. That was the thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think just to elaborate on this topic,
Yeah.
is that I was also parallelly, reading a lot of books and
Okay. Very
exploring
nice.
spirituality in
Yeah,
different
I can
aspects.
see you are wearing many crystals also.
Yes, we will definitely talk about this. It's thanks to you that I'm wearing all these
Yeah,
crystals,
very
but we'll
nice.
definitely
Yeah.
talk about it. But I was reading this book called Dr. Joe Dispenza, who is also trying to explain spirituality, or rather the energies in your body through science. And one very beautiful thing he talks about is that, like how if there is a cut in our body, we don't have to do anything. Our body knows to repair itself. It heals. So actually there is energy, there is ability for our body to heal itself.
Exactly.
But I think a lot of people today have forgotten that our body has the capacity to heal itself. And the moment something happens, they just run to take chemicals and medicines. And I think it is because today the world has become very commercial. That's what we're being drilled into our minds.
Right.
That, oh, if something's happened, you have to have an external intervention.
Right.
Rather than an internal
Internal,
intervention.
yes.
Or to find out what is the root cause of that problem.
Yeah.
And how do you solve that?
Yeah.
So I think from those books and even from the practices that I've learned from Sai Karuna Mission, which is what you have founded,
Yeah.
and from the practices that I've learned from you personally, I think for me that is the biggest learning, which is that you can actually heal yourself internally. Of course, you can take external help if the body requires, if the body needs that additional support in whatever form. But to try and address what's the root cause of that problem, and to actually also internally work within ourselves, because our body and our mind and energies have the ability to heal.
Yes.
So yeah, I think that has really helped me understand
Very nice.
Medicine even
Medicines,
better. It's not the external, even our body has the ability to bring in the chemicals to aid in whatever is required to repair itself.
Right.
So yeah, speaking of chemicals and external intervention, Can you tell me a little bit about what is your experience in meditation and how that has helped you feel internally balanced, or it has helped you in understanding these healing therapies, or as I understand, you're into aura and energy, which
energy
is
medicine.
medicine. So can you elaborate a little bit about what kind of meditation practice that you're following, and what is Sai Karuna Mission as an organization all about, where I know the main topic of research is aura.
Or See, honestly speaking, without investigation, it is very difficult to treat any patient. So, in our medical science, we used to get their blood investigation, sonography, X-ray, all the radiological investigation. But unfortunate part in spirituality, I had never seen or any organization they are using any tools of investigation. But at the same time, they advise them for meditation, they advise them for yoga, they advise them for nature cure, panchakarma, and different therapies. But when I started the aura research, I did a PhD from London, 3 years of aura research, and I understood that we need to figure it out which level of the energy is disturbed. Whether it is disturbed at your body level, it's disturbed at your emotional level, it is disturbed at your chakra level, or it's disturbed at your thought level. And if you understand that energy is disturbed at certain XYZ level, exactly there you need the treatment. What in the previous talk you said that people used to go to Himalaya, people used to go some or other places. The thing is, if really people are in need of body correction, that's called physical correction, they need to have some jogging, exercise, Zumba. There are different physical activities like dance therapy, what you suggest, where there is an earth element correction. Where people need a water element correction, according to our aura research, they need to go through the emotional corrections, because water and emotions are one. And very rarely people know that. At the medical side, I can see the lymphocytes, which are responsible, or the white blood cells are responsible for immunity. They increases when you do some emotional techniques like Hoponopo or EFT technique, emotional freedom technique. So your immunity rises, your aura becomes more positive, and you correct your water element issue. Many times, there is issue with your fire element, like we have ego, right? We are over passionate, we are workaholic sometimes.
Yes.
And that time, we fall sick because we are overactive. We need relaxation, we need some meditation to tranquilize ourselves, because our cells are stimulated, overstimulated. That is draining us.
Yes.
And we don't have strength, we don't have stamina, but still we are working. There you need a Surya Namaskar, you need yoga, you need Surya Mantra meditation. So this is how, through the element corrections, you can revitalize yourself, you can cure yourself. Same with the air element. If you must have seen in the pandemic time, COVID time, people's saturation level was very down. And virus were attacking their body. Is it right? So we had advised people for a social distance. We advise people to wear a mask. We advise people to have a slow and deep breath, so that the more is the oxygen in your body, the less is the chance of virus or bacteria attacking yourself. Is it right? So these are how, according to our aura science, the Sai Karuna mission has designed investigation with the aura and treatment with different elements. Is it right? And more of the Sai Karuna mission is using ether element. That's the symbolic part, where there are different geometrical design signs like Trishul, Om, Swastik. In every religion, there are certain symbols, and people are not aware those symbols are medicines. They are magical medicines. The moment you focus on those medicines or those symbols, you start getting healed up, because those symbols are generated by the big saints, swamis, sadhus, who has taken samadhis, who has taken the enlightenment. And those people have generated, or what I will call the downloaded the symbols through the meditational techniques, and they are somewhere available in the ether, in the sky. if you know to download, that is the best meditation. It's called channelizing. And if you don't know to download, if you can't get channelized, at least you can take the Shakti path attunement from the people, those who have Pranic Healer masters, Reiki masters, Karuna Reiki masters. So they will give you a Shakti path, they will make you the channel, because yourself are not able to channelize directly with God goddesses.
Right.
So this is how you know that in medical system we put a saline drip. Means we are putting something externally in the physical form, in the liquid form, but in spirituality we are putting the energy inside them through different god goddesses consciousness, or through different energy form. It's called a Vibgyor energy, right? Because we have a 7 chakras in our body, we have energy centers, right? So this way, because many sadhu sant, if I say कि वो लोग बहुत ध्यान तपस्या साधनाएं करते थे, वो इसलिए करते थे ताकि उनके अंदर वो शक्ति आए, और वो शक्ति अंदर जाने के बाद वो अपने ऑरा आभा मंडल को एक्सपांड करे, और वो उसी शक्तियों से मूर्तियों की प्राण प्रतिष्ठा करते थे। अगर आपने सुना होगा मंदिरों में, तो जब हम परिक्रमा करते हैं उस मूर्तियों की, तो वही आभा मंडल की ऊर्जा शक्ति हमें मिलती, बिकॉज हमने तो साधना की नहीं, हम तो तपस्याएं हमने की ही नहीं, हम तो कभी हिमालय पे गए ही नहीं। तो एक साधारण इंसान को अगर बीमारी से मुक्त होना है तो उसे 2 काम करना है, एक तो परिक्रमा करना है, अपनी ऑरा क्लीनिंग करनी है, और दूसरा मेडिटेशन या योगा हीलिंग करनी है, ताकि वो शक्तियों को ले पाए, ग्रहण कर पाए, और अपने अंदर इतनी स्पेस क्रिएट करे जहाँ पे उसके बॉडी के अंदर गुस्सा है, डर है, फियर है, ईर्ष्या है, नफरत है, अहंकार है, वो उस ऊर्जा को आने से रोक रही है। तो जब हम स्पिरिचुअल प्रैक्टिस करते हैं, आध्यात्मिक शक्तियों का इस्तेमाल करते हैं, तो हमारे अंदर एक परिवर्तन आता है, ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन जिसे कहते हैं। और शायद आपने भी ये एक्सपीरियंस किया होगा, जब भी आपने मेडिटेशन की होगी या आपने साई करुणा मिशन की हीलिंग सीखी होगी, तो वो ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन से क्या होता है, अंदर एक स्पेस क्रिएट होता है, जगह क्रिएट होती है, 2 सेल्स के बीच में, 2 एटम्स के बीच में, 2 मॉलिक्यूल्स के बीच में। इट इज कॉल्ड इंटरस्टिशियल फ्लूइड।
Can you tell me a little bit about Sai Karuna Mission, the organization that you're the founder of? What is the form of meditations that you follow, and or rather healing modalities?
Yeah.
And how does that work?
So Sai Karuna Mission organization started 15 years back. But before that we were running an organization that is called Lifeline Medical and Spiritual Research Center.
Okay.
It was started in 1993 when I was a second year medical student. I started with cancer research in Panchgani. It is in Maharashtra. And we had experimented on 60 cancer patients with nature cure and meditation and yoga. And very fortunately, after 1 month end of the retreat, we reinvestigated from Tata Hospital, cancer specialist doctors, and they approved it that 80-85% patients got cured. And we were awarded with the Mr. late Sunil Dutt. He awarded us for cancer research. And that was the beginning journey when I was a student. But then after 1 or 2 years, I given a break because I wanted to complete my medical graduation and medical experiences. That was the thing. And it was very fortunate part, because in my early days, I experienced the non-medical side also.
Right.
Otherwise, what happens, after becoming a doctor, you have that ego side of the medical person. You cannot accept any other modality. We say as a doctor that we are giving the medicine, you pray for it. But that prayer is just a vocable word. It is actually nothing to do with spirituality in medical terminology that way. So this is how we started. And when we restarted, it was 1998. After, I think so, 4 years of the break. I started in 1998. We restarted with healing. That is called Reiki healing. And we did an add-on factor with nature cure, yoga, meditation and healing. So I thought this combination was a marvelous. Because of that combination, whatever the lacking results we were having, and second, the time duration was very prolonged in initial days. Only to keep the patient on meditation and diet, it was taking 1-2 months, 6 months. But after adding this healing modality, the time durations stepped down. And people are very happy, because in short time you were giving the same result. That was the main thing.
Right. So can you tell me a little bit about nature cure? Because I think yoga, meditation,
Yeah.
I've heard.
Yes, yes.
But can you tell us, I think most people know
Yeah,
what
yeah,
is yoga,
yes, yes,
general
yes.
meditation.
General meditation.
But if you can tell us little bit about what is Reiki, what is nature cure,
Yeah.
because not many people are aware of
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. See, unfortunate part is people, they are not aware that we are made up of the five elements,
Huh.
and we need a treatment of five elements, which is called nature cure.
Okay.
Means nature will heal you.
Okay.
Why nature will heal you? Because it doesn't want you to be in the disease condition. Nature doesn't want you to be a toxic.
Right.
So nature helps for detoxification.
Right.
And whenever there is a detoxification from the nature by doing exercise or doing some diet, certain following diet, raw diet, then the regeneration cells are very easy. Means new blood cells are formed, like lymphocytes, platelets, RBCs, they are formed, and that's why your immunity rises, which in spiritual science is called aura.
Okay.
So what in medical science I used to speak to the patient that I need to rise your immunity. Now in my spiritual research I am telling that I need to rise your aura.
Okay.
So they are the same word, but technically they are spoken in the different terminology. So
Okay.
people are not able to connect that nature cure is nothing but surrender your body to the nature, and the nature will take care of you.
So I think you were talking about this research that you had done with these cancer
Yeah,
patients and how
yes,
it
yes.
helped in
Yeah, yeah.
nature
Right,
cure
right,
and
right.
your other
Exactly,
alternative
exactly,
healing.
yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about what happened? What was the
Uh,
experience?
see, when I started my journey in 1993, I thought if I need a best nature, then I was going through the Guinness Book of Record, and I found that in India the topmost place is Panchgani because of 100% oxygen and silver oak trees.
Okay.
There were more than 15,000 silver oak trees, we not found in any other part of the India. So I decided to take all my patients to the Panchgani, which is 4,003 feet above the sea level, and in that place the people were cured very easily because oxygen was supporting them.
So these were cancer patients.
For the cancer, because in cancer we see that oxygen is less, whether it's a leukemia, it's a bone cancer, it's a liver cancer, it's a pancreatic cancer. Any cancer needs first is detoxification and maximum oxygenation.
Okay.
So when you take patient to the best of the nature, this hill station, so definitely the osmotic pressure, the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide is very easy.
Okay. Right.
Because plants are giving you lots of oxygen and you need lots of oxygen for absorption and for your immunity.
Right.
Is it right? So this is the nature cure part 1. Second is, if you do certain physical exercise, you start sweating. Sweating is again a detoxification.
Right.
Right? The third thing is, I learned few meditation from Osho. He taught dynamic meditation, he taught chakra meditation, he taught kundalini meditation, and I started applying on my patients.
Right.
And very fortunately, those results were best. The reason I found after the aura research, that it is a decluttering of the mind.
Okay.
Whatever we have holded the thoughts, the wrong emotions, and which because of that we had created a psychosomatic disease in our body.
Right.
So that disease are not originated because of some bacteria, virus, parasites. So there is no cure in medical science. So they just apply chemotherapy, radiotherapy, or surgery because there is no actually the original cause
It's not found.
not found.
Right.
It's very easy.
So-
If you go back to the nature, nature will do everything for you.
Right. So can you give an example of what do you mean by what kind of cancer might have caused because of what mental clutter?
Right,
Just
right,
to
right.
correlate.
Yeah, yeah. See, very easily we could found that if there is a guilt, the kidneys are affected,
Okay.
and at the extreme of the guilt, there is a kidney cancer. People go for dialysis. Extreme of anger, people have liver cancer.
Okay.
Extreme of sadness, people have lungs cancer. Extreme of emotional holdings, they get in females they get uterine cancers. Extremes of emotionally affected, they get fallopian tube cancer or ovarian cancer.
Right.
So any unwanted substances which are holded for a long time, they create a disease.
Right.
Because they get a structural form in your cellular activity.
Right.
Initially they are in the gaseous form, then they into liquid form, and if they are not detoxified, they go into solid form, and that is a tumor, what we say,
Right.
cancerous tumor.
Right.
So there we need uh, a detoxification of the body and decluttering of the mind, and we need to release all those emotions which has been holded and affected the physical body. So
Right.
we in medical science we call psychosomatic disease.
Okay.
Psycho means mind, somatic means body. So as a doctor, I used to say people that you have a psychosomatic disease, but I was not understanding how to treat psychosomatic disease.
Right.
Somatic, I was treating them,
Yeah.
body, I was treating them, but I was not correcting their psychology. Any abnormal psychology for long lasting period, they create a physiological changes, and that physiological changes is called pathological change.
Right.
Is it right? Means if the depression is of 2 days, no issue. If the depression is for 2 months, it will create some physiological issues. And if the depression is for 6 months, it will create a pathological issue.
Right.
You will find some stones, you will find some tumor, you will find some ulcers, you will find fibros, something you will find it. That's the main thing.
Right. So, you just explained to us about, your center, which was Lifeline, and how you were using nature cure and other therapies to help
Yeah.
cancer patients.
Right.
So then from there, how did your journey start into this founding this organization called Sai Karuna Mission or SKM? And maybe a little bit also about what kind of spiritual practices can a normal man do? And I think that is what your organization's trying to aim at,
Exactly,
right? Not
exactly.
go into deep practices where you leave everything and go away, but
See, when we were doing research through Lifeline Medical and Research Center or Trust, it was more about the nature cure and more about the meditation or yoga, right? But when we shifted to Sai Karuna Mission, our research was through all the aura, energy technique.
Right.
Like in German, we have a machine called GDV, gaseous discharge visualization.
Okay.
In London, we had an equipment called PIP, polycontrast interference photography. From US, we had an instrument that is called RFI, resonance field imaging.
Okay.
So there are different technologies through which we started investigating through the energy level.
Okay.
The frequencies of chakras, the frequency of the mind, the frequencies of the emotions. Because now when I made you understand that how psychosomatic is important, how psychology is important, because body doesn't create disease on its own. It's only the mind and emotions which are creating the disease in the body. Now one question was always in my mind, that what is the connection between the mind and the body? Or what is the connection between the emotions and the body? This was the greatest question in my life. When I got instrument that is called ESM, electral spectral measurement, in London when I was doing the PhD, that instrument shown me the frequency of a chakras is very important.
Okay.
Because beyond every chakra, energy center, there are hormonal activities. For example, if my throat chakra is weak, I may develop tonsils, I may develop thyroidism, I may develop a metabolism imbalance, right? Hormonal imbalance. I may develop an vocal cord issue, voice issue. So this way I understood that the chakras are very important.
Right.
So between the mind and between the body, there is called chakra. This is the energy center.
Okay.
So when we had a machine, it was very small like a mobile, and we used to just investigate the frequencies. We understood the oscillation should be perfect.
Okay.
That's in hertz.
So it's can you explain to us how does that machine measure?
Yeah, that
this,
machine
or
was
just-
very, there were two machines. As I said, in US, it was RFI, resonance field imaging, and that frequency was like 1.7 hertz for the root chakra, 2.1 hertz for the sacral chakra.
So you would keep the machine and you can
Yeah, we could
find
detect it. It was
Okay.
like a mobile,
And it
handy.
will detect like waves.
It will detect
or
waves.
okay,
The units were
waveform.
coming on it.
Okay.
And when we were putting the units in our software, in our laptop, it used to come whether it is hyper or hypo.
Okay.
It should be balanced. The chakras oscillation should be in balance.
Right.
And all this yogic sadhana which they were doing in the Himalayas, they were actually balancing their chakra. That's why they were able to live for 125, 150 years without any disease, without any hormonal imbalance, or without any cough, cold or cancer. That's the reason they understood well. So this is how we have to practice that chakra meditation to balance our hormones, and beyond every hormones there are organs and cellular activity dependent.
Okay.
So if your chakras are balanced, your hormones are balanced. If your hormones are balanced, your glands are balanced. If your glands are balanced, your tissues, cells and your DNA is balanced. So this is what I understood in Sai Karuna mission, which in Lifeline I couldn't understand because we didn't had any equipment. We had no technology. We only understood that we had to shift from medicine to meditation.
Right.
But we never understood that how this meditation is working. That was the question.
So in Sai Karuna mission, when I first came to Sai
Yeah.
Karuna mission, I remember, a picture of mine was taken.
Aura was taken.
Aura was
Yes,
taken.
yes, yes.
And then there was a person, there's one of the teachers was reading my aura
Yeah.
and saying, oh, you have
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
this.
Yeah.
And which was very accurate
Yeah,
actually,
yeah,
where
perfect.
She was talking about the past, present and future, and
Future.
also what is there bodily
Yeah.
in my mind level. In fact,
Perfect.
it was even shocking that she could say that, oh, there is stress in this part of your mind,
Right,
or
right,
there
right,
is
right.
pain in this
Yeah,
part of
yeah.
your body, or
Yes,
maybe
yes.
you are having this gastric issue. She was able
Perfect.
to identify a lot of things
Right, right, right.
on dot. And then I think after the entire retreat, we had an after aura. And so as a person who was learning meditation in the retreat, of course I could feel the difference, but it was very beautiful to even have a visual representation
That's
of
the
the
important.
shift.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
so can you tell us a little bit about what is aura, and how do you
Yeah.
how are you
Yes, yes.
how is it that you're able to read all these things,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
what's the practice
So
behind
aura is nothing but an electromagnetic waves.
this? Okay.
Is it right? So interpretation is like electro is thought and magnet is emotions.
Okay.
Is right? So if we understand the colored code language, right? Like it's a different Vibgyor frequencies.
Right.
So through those colors we could understand technically whether the person is having low frequency, high frequency.
Okay.
Is it right? For example, if on your head region, it should be a blue color because it's an Agnya Chakra frequency. But if there is a red, means there is a stress, there is a
Right.
tension.
Okay.
If there is a black, it's a depression.
Oh.
If there is a gray, it's a sadness.
Mm.
Right? If there is hyper colors, means dark blue color, it's an anxiety.
Okay.
Yeah. So this way we understood, because it took 3 years for me to understand this technical part.
Right.
But very fortunately, even I was able to interpret the karma dosha, which in Hindu mythology we say that person has a vastu dosha, he is a grah dosha, or he is having kal sarpa dosha, or he is having pitru dosha. I understood through the aura, which medically I was never able to understand. But through the interpretation of the aura colors, I understood that the person is suffering from XYZ dosha.
Right.
And then we advise them through the healing modality or through different spiritual aspect, and people used to practice, and the colors used to change in the aura.
Okay.
So first day of the retreat and the fifth day of the retreat, if we compare the two aura, there were drastic changes.
Right.
And if you compare after 21 days or 90 days, again tremendous changes have been found.
Right.
That's the main thing.
So, can you tell me the difference between spirituality and religion?
Huh.
And also, I feel so. There is a generation before us
Huh.
where, of course, they had religious practices,
Yeah.
which also probably helped them to be spiritual.
100%.
But in today's generation, a lot of us don't feel connected to religion, or rather, we feel certain practices are orthodox, or they don't feel relevant.
Right, right.
So, what is the difference between religion and spirituality? And how can you help understand spirituality better, more for the younger generation who don't feel related to religion?
Honestly speaking, religion means a certain belief. Right? You have to follow the protocol of that belief,
Okay.
and it is a modulated. Like in Hinduism, it's a modulated. Jainism is modulated. Buddhism is modulated, Islamic is modulated, and that is good because we are following some saint or god goddesses because it's already modulated.
Okay.
Is it right? We have to just follow the disciplines of them. We have to just follow the footpath of them.
So, modulated, you mean there is a
There's
plan,
a structure.
there is a
There's
structure.
a plan. Like, in Jainism, it has been said that after 6 o'clock sunset, you need not take the food. It's a modulated.
Right.
Is it right? Early morning, you have to chant Naukar mantra.
Yes.
You have to chant Bhaktamar. So, this is a modulated science.
Right.
Is it right? In spiritual science, nothing is modulated.
Okay.
Nothing is fixed. Nothing is structured. You have to follow your soul path. and that's very uncertain.
Right.
And without meditation, you cannot understand where do you stand. So that's why religious practice is good for those people who cannot figure out where do they stand. Who am I? If I don't know, even I used to follow during my medical practice, I used to follow religious concept. I used to go to 5 temples before I sit in my clinic, and I was enjoying because I used to get so much energy, positivity, and so much.
Right.
And I used to give to my patient, and they were happy with me. But the time came when I started practicing meditation. I understood that I shouldn't follow any modulated religion. I should follow my soul path. Is it right? So I started doing more meditation. Then I started doing the Reiki healing, crystal healing. I started doing chakra meditation, and slowly I understood that my path is different. Like how the medical science is modulated, it has a fixed structure. I did not follow blindly those structure. I need to explore my own soul journey, and this is why when I started practicing meditation, I started exploring my own journey.
Right.
And then the subject started, that is called past life regression.
Okay.
This is called PLR. Is it right? When I did more meditations for a couple of hours, I started seeing the glimpses of my past life, which I was never believing because I was a medical left brain person. So that's why I thought that all this PLR, past life regression, is all illusionary.
Right.
It is just cooked in the mind. It is just structured in the mind, nothing else. But when I started seeing them, that my soul had taken some previous birth in Pondicherry, in Jaipur, in Kathmandu, in London, in Shirdi, in Goa, all 6 places I could find out myself. I went there, I figured it out that really there was a place where I had taken previous birth, my name, my place, and I was a priest in temple, I was in church, everything, different places. And very honestly, I could correlate everything because the historical places, they had some proof over there. It were documented.
Okay.
That so and so temple had so and so priest, and name was this so and so. And very fortunately, I understood that my journey from my past life was totally religious and some sort of spiritual also, and that's why I restarted my journey.
Okay.
And that helped me because I explored myself.
Right.
Initially, I was exploring the limitation of medical science. Then I started exploring the spiritual side, means the meditation side. Now I started exploring myself, which was helping me more because otherwise I would have got stuck somewhere.
Yes.
Right? So normally what happens, when people come into spirituality, they get expertise to NLP, they get expertise to Vastu, they get expertise to astrology, they make their name, fame, money, everything, they make a good business of it.
Right.
And then it is again modulated. Again they are structuredly captured in that.
that space,
They are
right.
entangled in that. And they cannot come out of that cocoon.
Right.
But fortunately, I learnt, I practiced, I did the research, I stopped the practice. I shifted to some other subject.
Right.
So it never structured me. And that was the great benefit of my life because no one through my biodata can make out that what actually I am doing it. No one can tell me he's a PLR therapist or he's an NLP trainer or he's a aura scientist. No one can tell because I am doing multi-versatile practice. And that's what I want every person in the life should shift their consciousness after it has explored to a lot.
Right.
So that they can evolve it.
Right.
That's the main part, right?
So I think I really relate to what you just said, which is so in my house we are not very religious.
Yeah.
We never had the habit of getting up, praying to gods, idols. So that concept was not
Right.
in the head.
Yeah.
And somewhere but somewhere I used to feel there is something else that's helping me in general, some
Right.
higher energy
Yeah.
or whatever. But I did not explore it, I did not think about it until I hit a very dark space in my life. And even at that point, it was a friend of mine who actually told me, there is an organization, I'm going to learn some healing modalities. Why don't
Okay.
you come with me?
Very good.
And to be very honest, I was very averse to it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, why should I come? And
Yeah.
it must be religious. They will say chant mantras or
Yeah,
sit in
yeah.
meditation.
Right.
But then she told me something which was very beautiful, which was, come and explore.
Yeah,
You
that's the
like
main
it,
thing.
take it.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah, yeah.
like it, it's okay. You've
It's
had
okay,
an
you can,
experience and move on.
Perfect.
But I think the first retreat really blew my mind
I think you
because
came in Shirdi, right?
yes, I
Huh.
came to Shirdi,
Huh.
and the whole experience of meditation, PLR, and watching channelizing, so many things
Yeah.
happened in 3 days, and I was shocked, I was curious, I was intrigued. It started completely shifting my perspective.
Right.
You know, I was in a very bad
I
space
know,
when I came to Shirdi, and I was really sick,
Mm.
mentally in a very dark space. And then a lot of things happened, and it started making that shift. It started
Oh,
making
very
that
nice.
transformation.
Good.
And I remember saying at the end of the first retreat, I
Huh.
remember saying that I always used to feel very melancholic
Huh.
as a person.
Huh.
I always used to feel my personality is very sad.
Huh.
Somehow, after that retreat, there was a shift in my core,
Hmm.
which is like, I don't have to feel this way all the time.
Exactly.
My true nature is to actually be just happy and free.
Hmm.
And then I suddenly somehow felt that that's everybody's true nature.
Yeah.
Which is
100%.
to actually be happy and free, which is how we are born.
That yes.
But then I think eventually,
Yeah,
life
I know.
takes its turn. And
Yeah, it takes.
so, can you tell us a little bit more about what happens in 3-4 days of a retreat at SKM? What do people go through?
Yeah.
And what's the journey like?
Yeah. So I said that previously when we used to do retreat through Lifeline, it was for detoxification, right? Later on, when we started Sai Karuna Mission, we started with a therapy called psychic surgery. Psychic surgery is a therapy of decluttering your mind. Means you break the frame, you break your belief, you break your thought pattern, you break your emotional pattern, because there are certain illusions which has been created. We are breaking in that psychic surgery. That's the therapy which we teach to every student, and when they do, their mind opens up, because
Right.
now the perception is changed, their belief system is changed. So definitely there is a shift of dimension
Right.
to watch the same thing with different angle. That's a dimension. Is it like nowadays we get 3 dimension, 4 dimension, right, 5 dimension. So it's viewing the same thing with different dimension.
Right.
That helps in psychic surgery. When we do Karuna healing, Karuna, Karma, Soul and DNA healing, our DNA gets healed, which has some coded with our genetics, or what we call ancestors pattern. So those beliefs comes in you, and that is overruling you,
Right.
and we are not able to understand whether my mind is playing or someone else is playing behind my mind. And who is behind your mind? Behind your mind is sanskara.
Okay.
Behind your mind is called soul karma. Behind your mind is called the unhealed part, unconscious part, which is overruling your conscious mind.
Okay.
So consciously we are praying for someone, and back of the mind we are cursing for the same person.
Can you give us an example of what
It's
that means?
very common. Like, we pray for everyone.
Right.
We pray for politicians, we pray for country, we pray for family members, everyone. But in some of the unconscious mind, they keep on cursing. They are corrupted. They are crooked people. They are unethical people. Back of the mind.
Right.
This is what happens. Every person is having a split personality, or I call as a spirit personality. Spirit personality means we have different mindset, and with different mindset we have a different constitution, we have different belief system, and at different time it gets activated.
Okay.
So sometime we feel, oh, I am made for Himalaya, and sometime we feel, oh, let me go to disco and pub and let me dance. So why this happens? That's a wave.
Okay.
So never think that you are here only to enjoy the life. Even the sadness, the sorrow, the depression is also a part of the life. Never try to run away from it.
Right.
Face it, experience that sadness, experience that depression, then you will really get evolved. And that people never do. People go for antidepressant medicine, people go for anti-anxiety, they go for insomnia medicines, because they don't want the dark side.
Right.
But without the dark side, without experiencing the night, again you cannot get the day.
Right.
So it's a wave form. Life is a wave, right? It's like an ocean. You have to just jump it, go down, come up to take the oxygen, go down to take the experience, again to come up to take the oxygen. Same way is the spiritual practice, same way is the life of every person.
Right.
So that's the main thing that I have understood in through all this research work, because when different equipment when I was using for chakra scanning or aura or this oscillations, I understood that's a waveform. Sometime they will be hyper oscillated, sometime it will hypo oscillation of a chakra. And the hormones, like like premenstrual time, it's an hyper oscillation.
Okay.
And after again, like like a moon phases are there,
Yeah.
the mind changes.
Yes.
So moon and mind are one. High tide, low tide are with the moon and mind. Same way the chakras oscillations are with those mind and moon.
Right.
That keeps on different shifting.
Mm.
So we have to accept it. We have come to experience those waves.
Right.
You cannot be static.
Yes.
Every time you cannot be happy.
Yes.
Every time you cannot be sad.
I think with this topic, I would like to touch upon how there is this misconception that if you are into spiritual practices,
Yeah.
you have no sadness
Yeah.
or no problems.
No,
or
no. It's
then
a
you are
reverse way.
constantly in a happy
It's a
phase,
reverse
but-
way. Sadness means we have to go inside. It's called inner dialogue. Like Buddha, if you see his eyes, half open, half closed.
Yes.
Why it was half open? Because he had gone inside. And why closed? Because he was least bothered about the worldly nonsense. Same way is a spiritual practice. You have to be with the world, but you have to be at the same time with yourself. This is called PIP, means polycontrast interference photography.
Okay.
You are seeing the image and you are interfering with them, but at the same time you are understanding what I am gaining from that thing.
Right.
Is right? There are certain books in front of me. There are different topic. There are different title. It is called the ego is the enemy. I am just reading it. But now at the same time I am trying to understand. Oh, whether I had some ego. Oh yeah, that's my enemy. This is PIP. You see outside, you correlate with your life.
Right.
Again you have some transformation. Again you go outside. You take something inside. You do some transformation work. Again you correct it. That's a revolution, because you're breaking yourself. And when you break yourself, it's called evolution of the soul.
Right.
So this is a phenomena. It happens with everyone.
Right.
Yeah, and that's a part of the life, I think. Whether you're an artist, you're a doctor, you're a professionalist, or you're a politician, that ups and downs are the part of the life. You cannot skip it.
Run away.
Yeah,
from
run
it.
away
Yeah.
from it.
Yeah.
That's the main thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, right now we spoke about Psychorna mission. Thoda we touched about meditations and psychic surgery, PLR. So, my question is, why all these processes when you have told in the beginning that spirituality is just being with yourself?
Yeah.
Why these practices, or how does that help in being with yourself? And also my second question in addition to that is, I know that a lot of people start getting dependent on certain people or gurus or systems where it somehow turns into a space of blind faith,
Yeah.
where sometimes there are things which might not be necessary for them to be doing, or it might, I don't know, sometimes I have only felt as an outsider it's taking them to a different path.
Right.
So can you explain a little bit about all this?
See, honestly speaking, when we were doing a medical practice, we understood that for every disease, there is a specific medicine. Right? For example, there is an antibacterial, there is an antiviral, specific medicine.
Right.
Same way in spirituality, we need some certain guru who can guide us,
Okay.
who can make us understand where are we stuck.
Okay.
We are stuck at certain chakras, we are stuck at certain nadia, or we are stuck with some meridians. Some blocks are there. So we need that guru who are intuitive.
Right.
But if you are using aura technique, which is diagnostic tool, it will bypass the intuitive part.
Okay.
So we need not depend on the blind game of investigation,
Okay.
because then every person according to his own belief, he will say that this planet is harming you, this element is harming you, this spirit is harming you, this thing is harming, because it is his own belief system, because he is working on the same system.
Right.
Is right? So he might put you into the same shoes, which may not fit to you.
Right.
Is it right? So investigation is important, where it's crystal clear to us where is the block and what we need. Whether we need graphological correction, we need a vastu correction, we need a numerological correction, or we need some nadi correction, we need chakra oscillation correction. So those causes need to be corrected, not the effect has to be corrected.
Okay.
Like in medicine, effects are corrected. Cholesterol is more, anti-cholesterol medicine. Diabetes is more, anti-diabetic medicine. That's a chemical correction.
Yeah.
In spirituality, that correction should be in the cause, not in the effect.
Got it.
Now you got my point. So being with self is self-realization, self-exploring. Where are you wrong? Your anger is the cause, your fear is your cause, your jealousy is your cause, your ego is a cause. This is self-realization. So once you do that, now choose the therapy. Which is the therapy which is going to dilute your anger, which is going to dilute your emotional baggages, which is going to make you free from attachment. Now you tap those things which are universally available with different therapeutical tags.
Right.
Is it right? Like there are Ho'oponopono medicine, meditations, there are different EFT techniques. So there are different techniques. You have to just go through it to enhance your journey, to get your result very in a quick essence, not to wait for a longer duration. You can just take help of them. So we advise them that if you are into depression, go for dynamic meditation. If you are very hyper, go for Raj Yoga meditation. Is it right? So we know where to tranquilize the mind, where to stimulate the mind, where to become a hyper, where to cool down. So according to that, we are advising after the aura, color of the aura. If you have the blue, means it's a hyper. If it's a pink, means it's a emotional side. Is it right? So there you need to activate your left brain.
Right.
If blue is there, you need to activate your right brain. So this is the science, and which people never understood. So they go to some organization because some of them have got good result and they were been advised. Go to this organization, go for this meditation, they go. But it's not their cup of tea.
Right.
But now what happens? Now either they go in their mind that it's totally bullshit, or they get attached to that guru, they get attached to the organization, even though it's not benefiting them. Right. But they are in the same shoes, even though if it's not fitting in their leg.
Right.
That shouldn't happen. It's waste of time, it's waste of life. Right? That's the main thing.
Yeah, I think even in my personal experience, I think my father was inclined to spirituality.
Right.
So he used to make me explore even as a child, you know, going into some different organizations to, you know, give me the exposure.
Very nice.
In different modalities, different practices. But I think one of the things that I was little averse to taking into those practices is the fact that people were following a man blindly.
That should never happen.
So I felt like, why are they idealizing a human being?
Yeah, never make anyone role model.
Yes.
That's the main thing.
And I think the freedom or the thing that I really connected with Sai Karuna Mission, and it's not to boast about the organization or
it's a mission of freedom.
Yes, it's a mission of freedom.
Yeah.
And I really connected with the idea because I felt like I could learn what's being given.
Exactly.
I choose to take what I want to take, and I also have the freedom to keep exploring other things.
Yes.
And the second thing that I really enjoyed personally, as you know, interacting with you, the founder, is that of course there were people in the organization that do idealize you, and of course because they have that respect and they you know, believe that you are helping them. So I understand that aspect also.
That's an anchoring of the mind that people do in their even I made 128 gurus, 128 therapies I had learned. I am never stuck to any guru.
Right.
To never organization. I respect everyone, I love everyone, but I am not stuck to anything.
Right. Right. And that, I think, sense of freedom is really enjoyable because then somewhere there the mind feels more open. There's more curiosity towards the wisdom of spirituality, to the idea of knowledge and
Yeah.
what it is. So the
Yeah, yeah.
thirst is
Yes,
more.
yes, yes.
Leading forward, I just want to quickly touch upon this very fun topic which I really like, which is about crystals. I know in SKM,
Right.
people use a lot of crystals for
Right.
healing,
Yes,
and
yes.
I've personally had a great experience,
Ha.
and I think as the viewers can see, I'm wearing
Yeah,
quite a
so many.
few,
Yeah.
and it really gives me a lot of strength and it
Yeah.
helps me accentuate my practices. So can you quickly give us an idea about what are these crystals and how are they part of this healing modality, or how does it help?
Yeah. You must have noticed that whenever you go to any medical doctor, even though if you have a infection, like suppose if you have a throat infection, if you go to a doctor, they will not give you just antibiotic. They will give you even supplementaries, multivitamins, so that you get cured very fast, right? The same thing in the spirituality. If you wear rudraksh, if you are wearing gemstones, or if you are wearing crystals, it will enhance your immunity, it will enhance your spiritual practice, and you will be protected,
Right.
because there is certain anti energy frequencies which is trying to stop you, because it's a science of polarity. There's always duality in the universe.
Right.
If you do positive, you attract the negative. If you do negative, actually you should attract the positive, but you are attracting more negative people, because the universe is 98% with electrons, and when you emit some electrons, you attract more electrons. Actually you should attract protons. Is it right? So practicing spirituality is an exercise.
Okay.
You have to do it with very strong determination. You have to do with your conscious mind, and doing negative doesn't require any efforts, because there are so many electrons, so many negative sources around the world. So this is very beautiful. Means drinking or smoking is very natural, because so many are doing it. Not doing it, it's determination.
Right.
You got my point?
Yeah.
So this is how you know you are fighting with yourself. You're fighting with the universal electrons. You're fighting with the unconscious pattern of the pleasure. Now this is the new concept. The pleasure. Pleasure is anchored in the mind. If I smoke, my bowels will get cleared. If I smoke, I will get some relaxation. This is anchored in the mind. It's not a science. Nicotine never helps you for happiness. Is it right?
Right.
Never a liquor helps you, right? But it's anchored in the mind. That's why initially it's a pleasure, and then it's an addiction.
Right.
Is it right? So if you want to get addicted, be addicted with divine. Don't get addicted to wine. That is my always message.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, just to get into certain controversial topics here, I know a lot of people might find this very weird, the audiences might find this creepy, but you're talking about negative and electrons. So, I have experienced certain things and even witnessed certain things in SKM or even in other organizations.
Yeah.
I've heard about these things, which is people being aware of spirits or them being removed. You know, there are spirits, there are ghosts, or there are negative energies that affect you. So, can you tell me a little bit about these experiences and what do they mean?
Yeah. As a medical doctor, I never accepted that there can be any spirit.
Okay.
There can be any like black magic or something
Right.
XYZ. But when I came to the aura research, and I used to take the pictures of few people where some shadows were there. Initially, I used to think these are the really shadows, but they were not shadows. They were attachment of the spirits. They were
Okay.
attracting of the spirits. Now, the perception is that if you have some fear, and there is an unhealed spirit which has the same fear, you will attract that thing, because both want to take the same experience.
Right.
That spirit, that unhealed spirit, has no body. You have a body, and without body you cannot take the experience.
Right.
So you will attract them, that will be attached to you, and then there will be a loop cycle. Every time you will feel that shadow, that someone is with me.
Right.
Some doors will get opened up, some noise will get on its own, and so, blah, blah, blah. But according to our quantum physics science, it's nothing but our own unhealed karmic particle
Okay.
or our unhealed DNA,
Okay.
which is having certain memories of our past life. We must have died in the flood. Now there is a phobia of swimming. So you cannot say that some spirit is stopping me to swim. You cannot tell them. It's your own fear.
Yeah.
It's your own phobia of your past life.
Right.
So when we did past life regression for such people, we made them free from that traumatic death scenario,
Right.
and then they were able to swim. Same
Right.
ways in driving, anything. Whatever you had a bad experience, you have holded it, and now you're attracting it again and again.
Right.
You may give the name of the spirit that someone is making me experiencing that. Actually, it is not giving you something. On your own, that unhealed spirit is coming out of your body in the gaseous form, in your aura, and you are experiencing from external side, coming from inside, getting stuck in your aura,
Okay.
and you're experiencing from outside.
I did not understand that. Can you give like
It's
an
the same
example?
thing, you know, like suppose if I am having a craving of sweets, for example,
Okay.
if I see any cake shop and I go and I buy, I will eat it. So I will think, oh, this cake helped me. But craving was from inside, no?
Okay.
Is it right? That didn't give me pleasure. The pleasure was I satisfied my need,
Right.
which was inside. The craving was from inside. Is it right? For other person, that cake is useless because he has nothing to do with it. The same thing is the spirits, you know. These are unhealed energies in the universe.
Okay.
They have not taken the body, might be the portal is closed, life between life, or they don't want to take the rebirth. So they are just haunting here and there. Those
Right.
energies are there.
Right.
But main thing is we are carrying the same frequency, the low frequency. We are carrying the animal instinct in us. That animal instinct is of fear and jealousy and attacking nature, XYZ. So from the external sources, we are attracting them.
Right.
It is getting attached to us. It is thinking that, oh, this person is want same experience, even I want. So they get attached.
Right.
So once you release from your internal quantum memories, you heal yourself, the external that get evaporated. And that's very simple. If my immunity is low, saturation is low, the virus will come inside my body.
Yeah.
But if my saturation oxygen is very well, no virus will enter it. If it will enter, that immunity will protect me. Is it right? And I wouldn't get COVID. That's the main science of it.
Right.
So here the spiritual practice is not only helping you to rise your immunity, even it is helping you to attract those unwanted people and unwanted energies and unwanted circumstances in your life. Because it becomes a loop cycle. Again and again you are attracting the same scenario. So that's why come out of those fear, it's called freedom. And this is
Right.
what Sai Karuna mission is practicing and making the people to practice it.
Right.
Is it right? So the fear is gravitationally pulling you down. The freedom is giving you the wisdom, is evaporating you, is evolving you. And that is the beautiful science of Sai Karuna mission.
Right. I think that was very well said or beautifully said. And I think now that we've discussed, you know, what is the history of your research and your practices and what is SKM as an organization, what do we teach, what are we learning? I would like to ask you, so this organization's been there for many years and
Yeah,
now
yeah.
you've
Yes,
had
yes.
different experiences. And it's very beautiful to see that SKM as an organization, it does not have a fixed center but travels. It's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
traveling
Always traveling. Yes, yes.
retreat.
Yes, yes, yes.
You know, so can you tell us a little bit about why is it necessary for people to go attend retreats? That's the
Yeah.
first thing. And second thing, where is SKM today after so many years?
See, retreats are basically for integration of therapies.
Okay.
Right? Because after, as I said, we do the aura scan, we do energy analysis. We understand the person needs some of physical activity, some of it they need meditation, some of them they need past life regression or womb regression, life between life or channelizing different parts. There are different therapies. Only it's possible when they are residentially with us. They are overnight staying in, like, you know, previously people used to have a Gurukul.
Yeah.
If you know that concept, you know,
Yes.
the king used to send their son to the Gurukul to get acquainted with different warrior therapies. Is it right?
Right.
So they used to meditate, they used to do some lots of exercises, and then they used to play horse riding, everything, XYZ. Same thing in spiritual journey, we need certain retreats where we explore in the depth. So that's why, when people come in residential retreat, they experience a lot because they stay with us. And later evening we have past life regression therapy events, we have channelizing events, like they explore their soul journey. They understand where do they stand, and previously what births they had taken. Like for my as an example, I will tell you, I had seen my 151 past lives, and two of my past lives I had seen as an animal. I was a owl, I was a eagle, and that's why I'm very focused in my life today also.
Right.
And because of owl, I have a thermal vision. I can see the chakra, I can see the aura, I can see the energy field around you or anyone, XYZ. Previously I was not understanding why I am able to see, why people are not able to see. But when I had gone through my past life, before my human birth, I
Right.
was in that animal birth, and those qualities are today also with me. So everyone, like person who has come from the cow, they are very compassionate, they are a good healer. If they have come from the lion, they are good politician. Is it right? So this way, we everyone has some animal instinct in them because of their previous birth.
Right.
Same way, we have taken the birth in the form of plants, we have taken the birth in mineral kingdom, and those qualities are still inside us.
Right.
So if I had seen my most previous birth before the plants and animals, I was in crystal form, and that's why the crystals are attracting me so much,
Right.
because I am resonating. In my house, all the underfloorings have crystals. All the concealed wirings, I have put all the crystals. Even on the roof also, I had put a plastic pyramid. Inside there are 54 crystal tumbles.
Oh.
So there is no logic behind it for a layman, but because I am resonating with my previous birth, I am attracting towards it.
Right.
Is it right? The same way, we like few vegetables and we dislike few vegetables. Few people are vegetarian, few people are non-vegetarian eater. Only depends on your previous birth.
Okay.
As I was in the previous birth vegetarian, this life also I am more attracted towards vegetable foods. So it's nothing wrong in anyone's life, but it's getting stuck is wrong.
Okay.
So in retreat, we tell them, where are you stuck? According to your aura, according to your past life regression. And if you are stuck, like you said, that in your modeling field or in your actress's profession, somewhere you were feeling that insecure. The reason is, wherever you have reached, people will try to reach you. So now there is a saturation. If I get success, people will follow me. So now there is a saturation, because now many people are doing the same thing.
Right.
When I was a Reiki practitioner, and people thought, oh, because he's a Reiki practitioner, he's earning so much money, he's getting so much fame. So people started becoming Reiki grandmaster. Then it was saturation for me. Now so much competition.
Right.
I had to go one step ahead. I went to US, I learned NLP, neuro linguistic programming. I came back to India, I traveled Nepal, Kathmandu, I practiced for 5 days on myself. Then I came back to India, I became a professional NLP therapist or trainer, and after 2-3 years I understood now it's saturation for NLP trainers.
Right.
Then I learned numerology, then I learned graphology, Vastu, everything, so many. Because I understood I have to keep on moving myself. If my mind is stuck with some science or profession, there will be a saturation after some time. Like
Okay.
even the iPhones also, every time, every year they have a updated version. Think if they are not updated, like Nokia or Motorola, they will be outdated.
That's
And they will be no more in the market.
right.
So in retreat, people understand that they are not updated. That's why they are in depression. That's why they have no job, no professional success. Business is not progressing, because at the same place, with same mindset, with the same object, with the same belief system, they are
Right. So we are stuck, but everything else is in flow or movement and
exactly, because
impermanent.
people
Right.
want something new. If you have nothing new, you are not
outdated.
honored.
Right.
You are dishonored. You have no value in the market. So you should do something new.
Right.
So it's like, putting your mind into new concept, in new theories, in new belief system, with new
Right.
consciousness, with new energy. That happens only in the retreat. Otherwise, if I teach you something, you go back to home, you practice it, but very in the diluted form. Because in your home, as you said, your father had certain set of spiritual concept, and again you will be back to the same culture, same set of the mind. So it's very minute difference you will make out of it.
Right.
Like, when I give some medicine in my consulting cabin, or if I do surgery in the hospital, in the operation theater, the treatment is so much difference. Even
Right.
though if I am the same doctor. Here he is eating only a pills or capsules, and there the stone is removed, the tumor is removed. So you can see the drastic change in him.
Right.
That's why patients are hospitalized. Patients are kept in ICU. Is it right? They are monitored, and that's why the changes are very fast, because they are given lots of higher antibiotics and IV drips and blood transfusions, and higher investigations are done. So this is also hospital, spiritual hospital is called retreats,
Right.
where peoples are monitored through the aura, through the past life regression, and at the same time there are continuously transformational therapies which are helping them.
Right.
24 hours whole day they are with us. They are not with their family,
Yeah.
they are not with their sanskara, they are not with their religious people, they are with multi dimensional people, with
Right.
multi set people. So definitely now the perception will change,
Right.
and once you have a different perception, definitely there is a freshness, there is a happiness, because something new came.
Yeah.
Like when you go visit mall, even though if you are not doing any shopping, you will feel happy because something new is displayed. New iPhone has come, new clothes have come, new designs have come,
Yeah.
new furniture has come. Just by looking to that things, you will feel so happy.
Yeah.
Is it right?
Yeah.
And you get space to observe.
Yes.
Previously the shops were very small. There was no space to observe it.
True.
But in malls there is space is so wide. With your own space you are viewing them, your perception is acknowledging it, it is analyzing it, and you feel, wow, good, I can see there are number of toothpaste, number of soaps are there. So there are so many variations.
Right.
So in retreats what happens, variations of people come with variations of experiences, and then people can understand, oh, I am only not a victimized,
Right.
there are so many other people with a higher version.
Right.
So their issues now they feel it's very small,
Yeah.
other people's issues are so big. So this is the benefit of the retreat.
Right.
Yeah.
So, in SKM, in the retreats,
Yeah.
there are different, types of modalities,
Yeah.
and there are also different batches like basic,
Exactly,
advanced.
advanced.
So, can you quickly give us a list of what are the different levels?
No,
and
it's
what
a very
all they
simple.
teach?
In our school days, we were with schooling, then we were in college for graduation, then we were for post graduation. So same thing in spirituality. You cannot take everyone in the post graduation. Is it right? You have to take them for a basic level where they understand chakras, they understand the aura, they understand meditation, they understand some physical exercises, activity. Once they have acknowledged their practice, they are put up into the advanced category.
Right.
Is it right? Advanced means taking from alpha to theta level. That is an advanced technique. Is it right?
So that is a mental state, you mean,
Mental
or the
state,
practices.
practicing. From advance, from theta, it comes to delta. That is the PLR therapist.
So that's a deeper
That's a deeper level.
level, right?
Means now you are going into your DNA. You are now going into the soul level. You are not body conscious, you are not mind conscious, now you are soul conscious person.
Right.
That's an PLR therapist. The most advanced technique. Is
Right.
it right? But later on we understood there should be one concept which is common for everyone, and that is a oneness concept.
Right.
So very recently we have started, with the grace of Mahavatar Babaji, through his channelizing we got the message, and those messages were implemented through the oneness retreat concept. And any new person or any advanced or therapist person was comfortable because that concept was centralizing themselves.
Okay. So you mean to say no matter what their level of learning,
Yeah.
they can come and attend oneness?
Exactly.
And
So
it's an open...
it's not a partiality, or we are not judging them
Yeah,
that
yeah.
you are at basic, you can attend. It's not that way, because many times people were feeling, why I am put in the basic class, I know many things, I have gone through many YouTube, but that knowledge is different.
Correct.
Experience is different.
Yes.
Is it right? But in oneness retreat, what happens, from the body to the mind and to the soul, all in the one umbrella, they are observed and they are experienced.
Right.
So that's a beautiful concept. That oneness is beautiful. Why? Because you are at the center and 360 degrees is the consciousness dimension, and you're watching it everything with your awareness, but you're not getting stuck to anything.
Right.
That's a oneness concept. So whether you start it or you end it, like I will tell you, when there is a newborn baby, that baby has a inner child. Is it right?
Yeah.
In the old age, if that person has an inner child, again it will be accepted by all. Otherwise, what will happen in olden age, they have certain mindset, certain experiences, and then they are more dominating, more ruling person. They are not flexible, they are rigid, so they are not accepted. So when I had been to the US, in second inning house, I am doing many of the workshop for senior citizen. I see those people are so much with a fixed mindset because of so much negative experiences in their life.
Right.
But when I put them back into their inner child concept, that's a oneness concept, they become so flexible, so happy, so peaceful, so joyous, and that is how their kids, their grandson, granddaughter, they accept them well, because now they are with their inner child. That inner child is nothing but the oneness.
Right.
Is it right? So that's a joy.
Right.
Means now they have understood to live with the heart, not to live with the left brain and right brain. That oneness is the center brain. Center brain is called a divine mind. Don't live with human mind, live with the divine mind. That is the oneness concept.
Right. So I think that's a great space that's now shaping up.
Exactly,
And I
exactly.
think the people who've attended oneness
Yeah.
have really
Exactly.
had a
Because you need not
transformative
get stuck to
experience.
masculine energy, you need not get
Yes.
stuck to feminine energy, but you need to understand the shift of consciousness, the shift of energy. And if you know that art of shifting it, you will never be monotonous.
Yeah.
And as I said, you will be always valued.
Right.
Yeah, professionally you will be valued, in the family you will be valued, in the society you will be valued. Why? Because you know to shift it. You're
Yes.
not rigid, you're not stuck somewhere. That's
Yes.
very important.
Can we deep dive, now that you've just touched upon masculine and
Yeah.
feminine? Can we deep dive for the sake of audience? What do you mean by masculine energy? What do you mean by feminine energy? And how these parts are there in all of us,
Yeah.
within and without,
Yeah,
in the world,
exactly,
internally. So
exactly.
can you
Yeah,
explain
yeah.
that?
See, if you had seen why Krishna was loved so much, in spite of being a male body, his love was like a feminine. Is it right? He was so soft. He was playing the flute. Is it right? And he was always compassionate with all those peoples, of
Right.
all the variant of ages people. Right? So even the when he was a kid, he was a makhan chor. Then too people loved him because of that feminine part.
You mean the person who's stealing butter?
Yeah,
Makhan
butter.
chor,
Is
okay.
it right? Same way, when he was elderly grown, again he was loved by all those Radha, Meera, right? Again, when he was playing the battle, no one was thinking as a negative personality for him. They knew that he is doing something good for everyone. It's a
Right,
welfare.
right.
So that shift of consciousness he knew from masculine to feminine. So this is how people should understand that both energies are important for you. It's called yin yang.
Yes.
In Chinese therapy, Japanese therapy, is it right? So in our medical, it's called sodium potassium, right? In again spirituality, it's called Surya Nadi, Chandra Nadi. Is it right? So both nadis are important.
Right.
When I am going in examination hall, my Surya Nadi should be activated, so I can answer logically. When I am into a temple, dargah, my right Chandra Nadi should be activated, so that I will worship from bottom of my heart. I will have faith in it. I will use none of my logical side.
Right.
Is it right? That shift is very important.
Right.
But unfortunately, people are not able to do that. They go into stress. Like in corporate world, when they are using lots of left brain, logical brain, and there is no creativity.
Yeah.
There is no dance, no music. Then they get addicted to smoke, alcohol, and dance of bars and clubs and everything.
Yeah.
Because external things are attracted.
Right.
But at the same time, if they activate their right brain, they do something, drawing, painting, they dance, they sing, they will balance both the mind,
Right.
and they will not go in stress.
Yes.
No nervous breakdown, no paralytic attack, no stroke, nothing will happen. So this is how it has to be acknowledged. It
Right.
has to be in day-to-day life practice. That's
Yes.
the main thing.
Yes. And I think I'm also seeing that. So normally people are doing body work, which is
I
yoga,
know, I know.
they're doing dance, aerobics,
Yeah,
Zumba,
yeah.
but there is no intention of releasing and understanding what you're carrying.
Because that's a somatic memory.
Yes.
What emotions you're carrying in cell of your body, those are traumas, and they pop up
Yeah.
periodically.
Yes.
If I see the lizard, if I see the cockroach, it will pop up. I'll start jumping and screaming and dancing because the memories are inside.
Right.
But if I'm fearless, it doesn't matter who is around me,
Right.
what is crawling around me. That's the main thing. So through your spiritual practice of oneness, you can accept any sort of things, whether they are animal kingdom, they are human kingdom, they are from spirit kingdom, doesn't matter to you.
Yes.
Because you are safe, you are protected.
Yeah.
You have confidence with your higher self.
Yes.
You are with your inner being.
Yeah.
That inner being is 24/7 with God, goddesses.
Yes.
And that's the beautiful science.
And that is where when you say that your fear dissolves, then your judgments dissolve.
Yeah, nothing.
Then your thoughts are dissolving.
yeah,
So
everything.
it's all coming from a space of flow where you easily shift based
Yeah,
on
yeah.
situations.
Yes.
And I feel like the more and more we practice these spiritualities and different modalities,
Yeah.
there's more and more clarity and lack of logic, but more being in the flow,
Exactly,
allowing
because there
for
is
things to
nothing like
happen.
winning or losing anything.
Yeah,
You are in the flow.
yeah,
You are not actually craving to win something. You are craving for experience.
Yeah.
You are craving for wisdom.
yes.
You are craving for enlightenment. You are
Yes.
craving for liberation. You are craving for freedom.
Yeah.
That's a spirituality.
And I feel like these practices are eventually bringing you into a space of self-love and wholeness.
That is very important.
Where you're not...
Self-value.
Yes, self-value, self-love, wholeness, where you're not relying on filling those voids
Yeah.
from others.
Exactly.
Then your partnerships and your
Everything
friendships,
will work
everything's
well.
flourishing.
Flourishing, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
but before it flourishes, you need to work on yourself and
Yeah.
build that self-love
Yes,
and
yes.
wholeness within.
Yes,
And I
exactly.
think these practices are helping us
Helping,
get there,
yes,
like
yes.
helping us
You will
realize.
not be dominated and you will never dominate anyone else.
Exactly. And it is helping us understand or realize where individually, where each of us are being
Exactly.
stuck.
Give the space to them.
Give the space.
You will, with their point of view, will understand.
Yes.
Where do they stand?
Yes. I wanted to ask you, like a lot of your teachers from SKM, they are properly trained and
Yeah.
then initiated
Yes,
into
yes.
teaching.
Yeah.
Whereas I've done 2 workshops
Yeah.
and the message came and you just very confidently
Yeah.
initiated me
Yes,
to
yes.
teaching.
Yes.
So I know I was very scared and I was
Yeah.
even reluctant to
Ha.
take this forward because I
Yes,
don't know
yes.
what was I going
Yes,
to do.
yes.
So as a person who initiated, like where did this come from and how did this happen? How did you allow for it to happen?
See, one message when you got it, that you have to balance your Shiv Shakti. One message I got, that people used to balance their Shiv Shakti through you.
Okay.
Many times it happens you are working on yourself
Yeah.
and you get cured.
Yeah.
Many times it happens you are making people to work and you are getting cured.
Yes.
And this is what is happening.
Yeah.
You are working on yourself, 50% you are getting cured. You are making people to work on themselves, rest of the 50% you are getting cured.
Right.
So this is how sometimes it's not that alone through your meditation like Buddha you will get enlightened. The rest of the 50% have the quantum memories of the past life in them of you.
Right.
If you release them, you will be relieved.
Right.
So you need to help them to help yourself.
तो हमने अभी स्पिरिचुअलिटी को एक्सप्लोर किया. वी स्पोक अबाउट लाइट एंड चैनलाइजिंग PLR and all these concepts of connecting with the divine. So we've spoken about the bright or the light side of things. So now my question is there darkness to spirituality and what are your thoughts on it?
With a layman language, dark side is a black. Is it right? But according to spirituality, dark side is a low wavelength.
Okay.
Like you see the ocean wave.
Mm.
It comes up, the water comes up, the water goes down.
Right.
It's like how even when we are swimming it.
Hmm.
Is it right? So whenever we are going up, it's gravitationally we are going down also at the same time, because we are preparing us for going down. When we take the birth means we are proceeding towards the death.
Right.
Is it right? So we cannot say that we are proceeding towards the death means it's a dark side.
Hmm.
So when you're using the light, at the same time, whatever is not light, it is called dark.
Right.
Your anger, your fear, your jealousy, your frustration, your irritation is dark because it's not light,
Mm.
low frequency.
Right.
So what happens, when we are doing it, it is decluttered.
Mm.
Things comes on the surface.
That is when we have spiritual practices.
Right.
Okay.
That time we need more. Like
Right.
suppose if I want to go for marathon,
Hmm.
means I have to break my comfort zone.
Hmm.
I need to break my food habits. I need to break my sleeping habits. Is it right? All social media, everything I need to disconnect it.
Yeah.
We will not call this a dark side.
Hmm.
It's called you're preparing yourself for the best performance.
Right. You
It-
so are having to overcome many
Exactly.
things.
But what is happening, whenever people are into spirituality, this unhealed part, when it comes on the surface, they are not able to tolerate their own dark side.
Okay.
And then they started blaming that because of so and so thing, I am into negativity. Because of so and so, I am into mess of my life. I am into mess of my relationship. I am into loss in business. I have lost my job.
Can you give us an example?
It's very simple because there is a shift.
Okay.
And whenever there is a shift, definitely something new is going to come. And when something new is going to come, old has to be
Cleared.
cleared.
Right.
And people are holding that old things, old relationship, old job, old business, old mindset, old emotions, old attachment. They are not ready to leave that thing. That's the main thing. That's why when I was in medical practice as a medical practitioner in ICU in hospital, the first thing people used to say me, please save him, take any damn amount. Even that person is of 84, 50, 90 age, because they were not able to leave that old man. They want that person to live more. Is it right? So this is how we have fear of losing the old thing,
Right.
and that is the dark side.
Hmm.
Is it right? So if you understand that whenever there is a declutter, like if you go to nature cure, if you go for panchakarma, when they will do your detoxification, you will vomit a lot, lots of loose motion.
Hmm.
It's not a dark side,
It's clearance.
it's clearance.
Right.
So understand, there is a light, there is a clearance, but there is no dark side. There is a wave up, there is a wave down. It's not a dark side.
Right.
So people, when they say I am into depression, I tell you are not into depression, you are into a self-realization process.
Right.
So depression is not a dark side. It is you're going inside. You're least bothered about the outside world, but at the same time you're enjoying your own company. So people around, they will say he need a psychiatric treatment, he need an antidepressant medicine. Is it right? So they will pull that guy to the any doctor, and he will make the life more mess, because he wants to go inside and understand where I am stuck, why I am low feeling. But people around us, they don't give the space.
Right.
So when you go to Vipassana, they give you the space. They give you one shell. They give you one cave. You sit inside for 10 days with least interaction, in silence. You need not speak, and the food is also very in the lesser amount, so that you are more occupied with your self-realization process.
So then people who are depressed
Huh.
or whatever, then they do tend to go into suicide or other
Because
things.
they are not able to withstand their own low energies.
Okay.
They lose confidence, they lose attachment with their own body, so they are prone to suicide. Is
Because
it right?
they've lost all forms of who they feel.
Because
they
people are not giving space to understand them. If, like, you must have seen many movies in Chichore, if you must have seen that boy in 10th standard, he failed. and he thought now my parents will not accept, so he committed suicide. But he never thought that why parent will judge him. He can do a second attempt. So this is how the spiritual practice, they parallelly help you to face the low energy, to help you to face this dark side, and they will never allow you to go into the suicidal tendency. You will not make any attempt. That's
Right.
the main thing.
Right.
So I tell every layman should practice spirituality. That's
Right.
the main thing.
So then the next question,
Yeah.
obvious question would be that for anybody who doesn't understand or doesn't know anything about spirituality or have no inclination or idea towards
Right,
it,
right.
what is the first step, or how can they explore this, or how can they start any practices?
In the beginning of the talk, I started that spirituality is to be with the self.
Yeah.
Is it right?
Yes.
So again, conclusion is the same. If you are with the self, this is spiritual practice. So for every common man who is not into any spiritual practice, he should spend time with himself. Like we are spending while selfie. We are spending time with self.
Right.
We are deciding, oh, this photo is not okay. Let me click again. So again, retake, you're clicking it and you're feeling you valued yourself. You're least bothered what people will feel about this photograph, but you
Right.
should be happy with yourself. Is it right? This is the spirituality. You're eating the food, you feel that food. Is it right? You're playing the cricket, you feel that play. You're doing the jogging, be with yourself. You're doing some job, give 100% to your job. You should be least bothered how much money you're getting it, but love your job.
Yes.
Then you will get promotion to the
Right.
next step.
Right.
This is the spirituality.
Okay.
Whatever you are doing, give 100% to that. It is spirituality. Not going to some Baba or organization or some spiritual meditations or technique has to be applied in your life.
Right.
So I tell, even if there is a driver who is running a Ola Uber car, if he is honestly driving, enjoying, he is a spiritual person. He is not frustrated.
Yeah.
He is not feeling illness that, oh, I am so driving all the time. Then really he needs tobacco. He need to smoke. Is it right? He need to blame someone because he is not enjoying his duty.
Right.
So if you enjoy your duty, this is also spirituality. If you enjoy whatever you have, this is also spirituality.
Right.
In every moment, you should enjoy your own company. That is spirituality. So
Right.
you will never crave for external company. Like when I am in the airport, after the check-in, I am alone and I enjoy my company. But when I land in the airport and people come to pick me up, and then I am with the crowd, I enjoy the crowd.
Right.
But again, when they drop me after the 5 days of the retreat, again I am alone at the airport after security. I am enjoying my company. So this is the shift that I am enjoying. I am
And it's a
enjoying the crowd.
cycle.
It's a cycle. Is it right?
Right.
So layman, it's very easy because they are doing nothing extraordinary. They are doing a routine work. And to the routine work, if you are enjoying, that's a spirituality.
Right.
Yeah, that's a simple science.
Great. So I think on that note, I would like to say thank you so much.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
I think it's been my pleasure also that we could have a conversation like this.
Yeah.
I mean, we do have a lot of conversations, but this was a very conducive space
Right.
to actually think, and to go through a process, even on discussions. It is almost like,
Exactly.
a journey.
Journey,
that
it's
we
a
took
journey. It's a
together
never ending.
while taking the audience with
yeah,
us.
yeah.
So I think I really enjoyed this, and thank you so much for the opportunity, and a lot of gratitude to everybody that's been in the crew
Exactly.
and team that has been
Yeah.
conducive.
Everyone's contribution is the best contribution.
Is amazing, and I'd also like to say thank you, dear audience, for joining us.
Yeah.
I hope this has given you a lot of answers. I hope maybe it has opened up your curiosity, and probably you can explore. Who knows? All of these things might take you in the next bigger step in your life. So thank you so much once again, and maybe we'll see you again with another episode soon. Thank you.